like. Otherwise, it's pretty dull.
And Rhonda, I don't see Councillor Hurlick on here yet, just so you know, unless
Yeah, I don't see him either.
somewhere. He was at our Court of Revision.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to call our meeting to order this Tuesday the 4th. We will please bow our heads for a moment of reflection. Thank you. We need a motion to confirm the agenda. Is there anything that anyone wishes to add to the agenda? No? Okay, a motion to receive as circulated. Moved by Jeremy. Second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. If you have pecuniary interest, you can disclose it now or as the meeting goes along. We have 11 items on our consent agenda. Is there any item that anyone has questions on or they would like pulled? Jerry? Oh, you're muted, Jerry.
I'd like to have 5.1.5 pulled, please.
Okay. Any other one? Okay, so a motion to accept 5.1 to 5.4 and 5.6 to 5.11. Moved by Andrew. Second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, Jerry, 5.15. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to request that we support this. Send this on. We get a number of grants that come down through the pipe, but none in particular with the fire department, especially when it comes to apparatus, equipment, and buildings. So this is a good resolution from Hudson Township that I would like to move that we support.
Okay, so moved by Jerry. Do we have a seconder? Amanda? Is there any more questions or comments? All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item on our, we have no delegations. We have no public meetings. We do have public hearings. We have 2 of them. So our first public hearing, council will now temporarily adjourn to sit as committee of adjustment pursuant to section 45 of the Planning Act. I now declare this virtual public hearing open. This virtual public hearing is being held to consider an application affecting property currently owned by Ezra Wagler and described as Lot 6, Concession 3, Mornington Ward, Township of Perth East, 6458 Road 131, Milverton. I will now call on Township Planner Susanna Reed to present the planning report and recommendations. Susanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mayor Egots. There's a report in the council package with regards to this application for minor variance. Following the circulation of the notice for the public hearing, it was noted that the lot coverage exceeded the maximum lot coverage requirement in the zoning bylaw. And the applicant has confirmed that he would like to apply for a variance for the lot coverage as well. So as a result, the public hearing is being rescheduled. So the recommendation is simply that the committee receive this report for information purposes, and another notice will be circulated.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from committee members? Seeing no questions, we do have a motion that the Township of Perth East Committee of Adjustment receive the report dated May 4th, 2021, prepared by Susanna Reed, planner, entitled Minor Variance Application Number A03-2021-PE by Ezra Wagler, affecting lands described as Lot 6, Concession 3, Mornington Ward, Township of Perth East, 6458 Perth Road 131, Milverton, for information. We have a mover and a seconder, moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. Any more questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the second one, we have this virtual public hearing will be held to consider an application affecting property currently owned by Keith and Amy McIntosh and described as lot 233, registered plan 363, Milverton Ward, Township of Perth East, 56 Main Street South, Milverton. The purpose of this hearing is to give the committee and the public an opportunity to hear all interested persons with respect to the proposed application and receive their input, and for the committee to make a decision on the application. All persons attending this hearing will be given an opportunity to be heard or make a presentation. Committee members may ask questions for the purposes of clarifying the application, but are asked to withhold their comments on this application until all present have been given an opportunity to be heard. Due to COVID-19, public hearing procedures have been adjusted to adhere to the provincial guidelines for holding electronic meetings. Any person who wished to be heard regarding this matter was asked to register prior to this meeting by the deadline of Monday, May 3rd, 2021 at 12 noon with the municipal clerk. Any person who wishes to receive written notice of the decision made by the Committee of Adjustment is asked to email their name and mailing address to the Secretary Treasurer following this hearing. An appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal objecting to the decision made at this hearing may be filed with the Secretary Treasurer not later than May 24th, 2021. No written notice except for as previously noted will be given unless registered at this time. I will now call on Township Planner Susanna to present the planning report and recommendations. Susanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mayor Egots. So as the mayor has described, the property is in Milverton. It's located at 56 Main Street South, Milverton. It's a residential lot zoned R2, which is a medium density residential zone. And the application is requesting a variance to reduce the side yard setback of the south lot line from the required setback of 2.4 meters to be 1.93 meters in order to build an attached garage with a breezeway. The planning report reviews the 4 tests of the minor variance and concludes that it satisfies all 4 tests. And the recommendation from the planning department is to approve the minor variance with 2 conditions. First, that the owner applicant complete construction of the proposed structure within 2 years of the date of decision of the Committee of Adjustment to the satisfaction of the chief building official. And second, that the owner applicant constructs the proposed structure in the location as defined in the plan submitted by the application. And if the committee has any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
You're muted, Mayor Eggets.
Sorry, thank you, Ashley. No one registered to make a presentation or speak in opposition. No one registered to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant or the applicant's agent. We do have property owner Amy McIntosh registered to speak in respect to the application. Amy, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yes. No, I don't have any further points to add to the application. She did a great job of describing what our intention is and what our request is. So I don't have any other further comments unless somebody has a question for me.
Okay, thanks, Amy. Are there any questions from the committee members? Jerry?
Yeah, thank you, Planner Reed. We had no concerns from the neighbor to the south. I assume if we would have, they would have been included, but no concerns there.
Yeah, through you, Mayor Yotz. I haven't been informed of any comments from the neighbors, just checking with the clerk.
No, I did not receive any comments either.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions? Nope, seeing no questions, the committee will now consider a motion regarding the application. So the motion is that the Township of Perth East Committee of Adjustment receive the report dated May 4, 2021, prepared by Susanna Reed, planner, entitled Minor Variance Application Number AO6-2021 PE by Amy and Keith McIntosh, affecting lands described as Lot 233, Registered Plan 363, Milverton Ward, Township of Perth East, 56 Main Street South, Milverton, for information. And at the Perth East Committee of Adjustment approve minor variance application AO6-2021-PE to permit a reduced interior yard minimum setback as defined in the Perth East zoning bylaw of 1.93 meters with the following conditions: that the owner applicant complete construction of the proposed structure within 2 years from the date of decision to the satisfaction of the chief building official, and that the owner applicant construct the proposed structure in the location as identified on the plan submitted with the application. So do we have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Jerry, second by Jeremy. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, I declare this virtual public hearing closed. Now we'll move on to reports. We do have a planning report, application to consent to sever 2 residential lots, and Adam is joining us tonight to present. So Adam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, members of council. I think what I'll do is I'll share a screen and walk everybody through these applications. Okay. Can everybody see my cursor moving on screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll kind of start at around 5,000 feet up and move in to talk about these applications. So what we're looking at is Millbank, and this the applications before council tonight are to create 2 new residential lots right at the end of Norfolk Street. And I'll zoom in a little bit here to give the context. So it's generally described as a low density residential neighborhood. And the subject lands is this square here, and it's got an existing dwelling, and there's a horse barn here. And there would be 2 new lots severed here and here. And then there's farm fields in the back and neighboring residences as well. And I'll just, here's the consent sketch that went out as part of the notice. So basically we're creating 1 new lot here, 1 new lot here, and then this is the retained lot. I'll just go into the severance sketches a little bit here, give some more detail. The first lot to be severed is this lot right here. And that lot is just over ½ an acre in size with 100 feet of frontage, and it would be vacant. The second lot is this lot right here, right next door. It as well is just over ½ an acre in size and just a little over 100 feet in frontage. And the retained lot is at the end here with the existing house, the well, septic and barn. And this property is 3/4 of an acre with about 130 feet of frontage. As part of this application, the applicants were requested to submit a hydro-G study, which they did. The hydro-G study came back and said that there would be no impacts on groundwater supply in the area. Staff concurred with the methodologies used in this study. We did not receive any emails or correspondence from the public as a result of the circulation that went out some time ago. And I will stop sharing screen. So as outlined in the staff report, staff recommend approval of the applications subject to the conditions that are outlined that are in council's package. And I would be happy to answer any questions in regard to this application. And just before I forget, council would have received comments late this afternoon regarding this application. So yes, we did receive comments, last minute comments. So I retract that no comments received comment. Thank you.
Okay, questions from members of council? Questions? Oh, Jeremy?
The correspondence we received talks about having think really there's some preamble there, and the big concern is about having 2 horses for the dwelling for the purposes of transportation. What is the rule for the surrounding properties for that?
Sure. Through your worship, I'm just going to bring the map back up, and I think that will, I'm going to explain a little bit of the background here on this property with the zoning. And if I can just share screen again.
Sure.
And everybody can see the tricolored map here.
Yes.
Okay. So this property has a long-standing historical special zone on it, and that zone is called HVR3. And when I was doing the background on this report, I went back into some of the older bylaws that were passed, and what the HVR3 zone did was it allowed this property, before this house was built, it allowed this property to have 2 horses kept in this barn for transportation. And right now, the Perth East zoning bylaw allows 1 horse. And I'll show you that special section in a second. And the other part of this special zone was that this house had to be located as far to the east as possible into this property. And I don't know the reason for that. I can only assume that it was just to keep the residential uses and the livestock uses as far away from the neighbors as possible. So going back to today's standards for Perth East, the zoning bylaw does allow the keeping of 1 horse for personal transportation as long as you meet criteria. The issue with the property tonight, and the reason I included the condition that these 2 lots be rezoned, is there would be a problem, a technicality brought up if the special zone was kept on these 2 severed lots. That would allow 2 horses to be kept on each of these lots, which if these lots were created today, they would have to come for a council approval for that because only 1 horse is allowed. The other more tricky part to this is that I'm going to show you the HVR3 zone wording. And if can everybody see this wording here, HVR3?
Yep.
Okay, so condition or clause B indicates having 2 driving horses. And then clause C here is really, in my opinion, the problematic one. It says that notwithstanding any provision of this bylaw to the contrary, any dwelling erected on the land in the HVR3 zone shall be erected in the easterly 60 meters of the HVR3 zone. So if we look at these severances, if these 2 lots are kept within that zone, I don't know how you would be able to position a house on them without running afoul of some zoning provision. So the staff recommendation is to remove that special zone. It would stay on this lot, which has previous zoning approvals. These 2 new lots would be rezoned to HVR, which would then allow for future dwelling. Now, if the people who eventually build on these 2 properties do wish to have a horse, they can do so under the bylaw today, as long as they meet the criteria. If that answers the question, kind of the long-winded part of it.
Okay, Jeremy?
Do we have any other locations, or how many other locations do we have that are HVR3 zoned?
This is the only property in Perth East. It has a very site-specific zone in the bylaw. So that special zoning was put on this property. I'm thinking it was probably done before under the previous Mornington ward, because if you look in the definition here under Mornington, it used to be R4. So I'm thinking that probably had, there's a long-standing historical use here.
Okay, any other questions? Nope, seeing no questions. We do have a motion that has 9 conditions. So the Council of the Township of Perth East received a report entitled application for consent to sever 2 residential lots number B54-20 and B55-20 by Robina and Magdalena Kipfer. Lands described as registered plan 261 lot 179-188, part of lot 180 and 187, Mornington Ward, Township of Perth East, 4041 Norfolk Street, excuse me, dated Tuesday, May 4, 2021, prepared by the County Planning Department for information. And at council, the Township of Perth East recommend that the County of Perth Land Division Committee approve the application for consent to sever 2 residential lots, number B54-20, B55-20, made by Robina and Magdalena Kipfer, subject to the following conditions. And here are the 9 conditions. And now do the Reader's Digest version. That confirmation be received from a solicitor that the certificate of official be scanned and attached to the electronic registration of the transfer. Number 2, the county be provided with a description that is consistent with the application and equal to that required for registration of a deed and or transfer and or other conveyance of interest in land. Number 3, that confirmation be received from the Perth County Land Division Committee that the notice sign and sign frame posted on the property has been returned to the issuing municipality within 30 days. Number 4, that the Township of Perth East, that all taxes are paid in full. Number 5, the Township of Perth East, that all financial requirements have been met. Number 6, the Township of Perth East, that requires cash in lieu of parkland dedication has been paid for the new lot. Number 7, that confirmation be received, Township of Perth East, that the municipal drains have been reviewed and updated. Number 8, that Township of Perth East and an amendment to the implementing zoning bylaw has been adopted to zone the proposed severed lots to the appropriate residential zone and to recognize any building setback deficiencies on the retained lot. And number 9, that the owner obtain written verification from the Township of Perth East Public Works at a suitable entrance location provided direct access to the proposed severed lots from North Folk Street be available. So do we have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Daryl. Second by Andrew. Any more comments or questions? Hugh, you have a question?
Yeah. Is there a possibility that in the future that they can then have a way to keep 2 horses? Did I miss something there?
Through you, your worship, the special zone that would be on the retained lot will not change. They will still be able to keep 2 horses on that property. Future owners of the 2 severed lots, as long as they meet the criteria in the bylaw, may have 1 horse. If they want an additional horse, they would have to come to council for either a minor variance or rezoning in future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more comments or questions? All in favor of the motion? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, carried. Sorry, I either have a delay or everybody is delayed, but okay. Thanks, Adam.
Hey, your worship, members of council, thank you very much and have a good evening.
Yep, you too. Thanks. Okay, we are moving on. We have no report from the CAO. Clerk, we have a tender opening for the Rostock Municipal Drain. So Ashley, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. The Court of Revision did sit tonight before the council meeting and did uphold the assessment schedule. So the recommendation still stands. If there's any questions, I'm available. And then we also have the engineer, Matt Ash, on as well if there's questions for either one of us.
Okay, anyone have any questions of this report? Nope, seeing no questions. The Council of the Township of Perth East award the tender for construction of the Rostock Municipal Drain 2021 to TAS Excavating and Rentals Limited with their submission of $25,957.41, excluding taxes, only upon satisfaction resolution to all appeals before the Court of Revision. Do we have someone to move and second? Moved by Jerry. Second by Hugh. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the second one is the Signer Drain. Ashley?
Okay, thanks. The Court of Revision did sit tonight for this drain as well, and the assessment schedule was upheld. There was one typo in the report. A couple of you noticed it said Rostock in there just in the one section. but it is for the Signer drain. So there's nothing more to add, but we are available for questions if there's any.
Okay, any questions of Ashley? Seeing no questions, the Council of the Township of Perth East award the tender for construction of the Signer Municipal Drain 2021 to Apex Building and Contracting with their submission of $31,400 excluding taxes only upon satisfaction resolution to all appeals before the Court of Revision. Moved by Hugh. Second by Darrell. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, anything else, Ashley? Nope, okay. We will move to finance, and the first one on finance is the Ontario Cannabis Legislation Implementation Fund. Wow. Rhonda, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. This report is a follow-up with regards to the Ontario Cannabis Legislative Fund. You may well know that Perth County passed a motion to transfer a share of their allocation to the lower tiers, and I've included that in the report. It is recommended that this funding be transferred to the police reserve to be used for cannabis-related police enforcement. If there's any questions, I'd be pleased to answer them if I can.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Rhonda? No questions. So the Council of the Township of Perth East received a report prepared by the Treasurer dated May 4, 2021, entitled Ontario Cannabis Legislation for Information, and the Council approved the transfer of Ontario Cannabis Legislation funds totaling $39,361.87 to the Police Reserve for cannabis-related police enforcement as included under the OPP policy in contract, policing contract. Sorry. Who wants to move that? Moved by Andrew, second by Amanda. Any more questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the other one on Rhonda's is one-time federal gas tax. Rhonda?
Yes, this report outlines potential projects under the one-time federal gas top-up payment that we received of $373,822. And just so council is aware, the projects that are presented are referenced to an existing needs or asset study, and that's how they were chosen. I just want to make one more comment, just to note that as council is aware, the township is currently undergoing a development charges review, and that's with Hemson Consulting. And Hemson will host a council information session this late spring or early summer to present the draft findings for the DC study. And I just want you to note that if a DC bylaw is approved, growth-related projects may be included in the DC rate, and they can be moved from the gas tax fund at a later date. That's all speculative at this time, and it'll depend on the outcome of the DC study. The capital project list and funding sources will be further reviewed and refined through the DC study process. So that's for your information as well. This is brought forward for council tonight if they wish to choose to allocate the one-time gas funding to some potential projects. Any questions? I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, any questions for Rhonda? No questions? Okay, so what do you want to do with the one-time federal gas tax? Andrew?
It looks like in the report, they talk about the line 67 for the other portion. I guess it makes sense, gas tax and roads, right? So I would move we put it towards the line 33 reconstruction.
You're moving that? Okay, so moved by Andrew. Do we have a seconder? Amanda? Do we have questions or comments? Jerry?
So yeah, I'm in favor of putting it towards 67. But what about, there's the upgrades in Shakespeare That's just a $40,000 estimate. Some of those, the playground equipments, but again, I'm in favor of 67, but could we not, or sorry, 33 rather, 33. Could we not maybe split that up and, you know, just a thought.
Okay, anyone else? No, okay, well, let's see where the motion goes. That the Council of the Township of Perth East received a report prepared by the Treasurer dated May 4, 2021, entitled One-Time Federal Gas Tax Top-Up Payment for Information, and that the one-time federal gas top-up payment of $373,822 be used to fund the following projects in 2021. And the project is line 33 paving. Okay. All in favor of that motion? Carried. Oh, the bottom. Sorry, couldn't find the word carried. Okay. Next we have, is that it, Rhonda, for you?
Sorry, I just wanted to make one more small comment, just so
Sure.
to be clear on the motion, then the balance will come from the Public Works Reserve.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move to Public Works, and the first one is tender results for Road 140. Wes, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so this project has been ongoing for quite a few years. I think we're on phase 6, and it's a little more money for gravel this year, but it won't be over budget. We'll just shorten the distance that we reconstruct.
Okay, questions for Wes on this report? So where will, oh, sorry, Hugh?
Wes, is there any reason why there's a different charge between granular A and granular B? Like why they charge a different price for that?
Granular A takes a lot more crushing to break it down to the size that we need. So that's the reason. B gravel can be taken right out of a face. So.
Okay, Jerry?
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Wes. In regards to 140, where are we in regards to, soon, I assume we're at some point looking at paving it. How soon are we getting it done to being reconstructed?
So that
Thanks.
there's probably 2 more phases after this year to get out to line 55. And then it'll be a council decision after that, whether we pave it or what happens.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? I just have one question. You commented about the gravel, so only gravel as far as the money allows us, then next year we'll pick up that extra cost, or how do we finish what we didn't get graveled?
So it could end up being another phase longer in order to get the project finished. So at the end of the day, it could, instead of being, I'm saying it's going to be 3 years to finish it, and I think we can do it in a 3-year time frame. But if things keep going up and the prices get more, then we would end up having to maybe do a fourth phase yet.
Thank you. Anyone else questions? Seeing no more questions, we do have a motion. Council Township of Perth East received a report entitled PW-2021-05 Road 140 Reconstruction dated May 4, 2021, prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information, and it confirmed by this resolution tender PW-2021-05 for supply and placement of granular materials be awarded to Dungannon Haulage 2010 Limited for the tendered price of $13 per ton for granular A and $11 per ton for granular B, exclusive of HST. We have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Daryl. Second by Jerry. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next one is the Pastoso water replacement. Wes?
So this has been to council a couple years ago and approved. And last year we were going to do the project with COVID, and things just didn't work out the way we had planned. So we're hoping to move forward this year, but we're looking to council for some decision on the connections and the time frame for the connections to be done. As council's aware that this system is the old system is completely on private property, and it's in the back end of everybody's lots. So it was virtually impossible to get in there to do any work if something ever happened. So that's why this is brought forward.
Okay, any questions for Wes? Andrew?
And I've asked works already just about the connections and that, and a year seems to be good. Having said that, I'm not sure what's going to happen with COVID and whether this would be considered essential. I know there's a lot of smaller construction projects. I'm just wondering, would there be some flexibility in the timeline for connection? If things are going off the rail, can we build that into it somehow? I'm not anticipating. I don't know how the rules seem to change constantly, is why I'm asking this. Thank you.
So the only concern I would have with extending it is, of course, it's an old system, and in order to get the chlorine residual throughout the whole system, if there's a bunch of people that have disconnected and you only have a couple people on, we could run into a problem there. So that was one of the reasons that we picked the 1 year time frame for connection.
Any questions? No, seeing no questions, we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the entitled Pastoso Water System Replacement Service Connection Arrangements prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information. That Council of the Township of Perth East award the directional drilling of the required water main to J.W. Kelly Electric Limited for the tender price of $85,281.10, excluding HST, and that Council of the Township of Perth East approve the proposed service connection arrangement for affecting property owners whom will be required to connect their residents to the distribution system at their own expense prior to September 1st, 2022. We have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Hugh. Second by Carol. Any more questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the last item is a locate services agreement. Wes?
So our contract with North Perth is expiring at the end of this month. And of course, we hired one of North Perth's operators. And so that puts a bit of an issue on North Perth end for having enough staff for locates and that type of thing. So they approached us to help them out until the end of the year for locates. And I think it would be in our best interest to do something like that. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Wes? Seeing no questions, Council of the Township of Perth East received the Locate Services Agreement Report prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks dated May 4, 2021 for information, and that Council approved the proposed Locate Services Agreement between the Township and the Municipality of North Perth, and that Council give 3 readings to Bylaw 25-2021 to amend Bylaw 83-2019 to enter into a Locate Services Agreement with the Municipality of North Perth effective June 1, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Moved by Carol. Second by Jerry. All in favor? Carried. Okay, do you have anything else?
No,
Wes?
thank you.
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay. We have nothing for building, correct? Nothing for recreation, nothing for fire. We do have 4 items for correspondence. So the first item we have for correspondence is from Mr. Head in regards to Avon River Estates expansion plan. What was council wish to do with this? Daryl?
No, could we pass this on to Sally McMullen for sure? And I definitely think it makes good sense and it's effective use of land. There's a lot on the go there already. There's some room on the wells, so I think we should just pass that on. That would be nice. Perth County planning can support that. We support that if we can.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so I believe that he's asking for, so we'll pass it to our own staff as well, or just to the county?
Well, he's asking for support as we redo the official plan.
Okay, so let's send it to the county planning department. Is that what you wish to do, Daryl?
Yeah, please.
Okay, you want to move that?
Yeah, I'll move that. Thank you.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Hugh? To county. Okay, so we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the correspondence from Samuel Head, Planning Consultant, Dryden, Smith and Head, Planning Consultants Limited, dated April 14, 2021, Avon River Estates expansion plans, official plan update for information, and that council refer to the county planning department. Okay, is that all right? Okay, all in favor of that? Carried. Okay, the second item is from Marina Schmidt, and it has to do with the freshwater protection, responsible management of disposal. What would council like to do with this? Daryl?
No, this one as well. You know, it's funny. Marina brings this up. Farmers have had this thought, and it's always a concern with sludge. How many drugs go down the drain and the concerns, and I'm neutralizing and such done to ensure that this stuff's neutralized, but it is always a concern. I'm just wondering if we could get a report back from staff or even Randy Pettipees, what kind of work goes into ensuring these drugs aren't making, you know, water unsafe or contamination potentials.
Okay, anyone else? Hugh?
There, finally. I would suggest that we also send it to the health unit, and not exactly sure from staff, but just have staff write a letter to our MPP and just asking him if there's anything that can be done, if practices have been followed like they have been practiced. And I think that should cover it. And then not unless one would like to also pass this on to the Ministry of Health, or possibly the Federal Ministry of Health or something like that, if they wanted to go further than that.
Okay, anyone else? Daryl?
Yeah, Hugh touched it well there. Let's get a report back. Let's ask the health unit for their input. They maybe have some data there sitting there. Maybe there's somebody here in staff knows something. I mean, Wes is around, of course, the lagoons and water treatment a bit. It's not as extreme for him, but he'll be familiar. But I think if we reach out to the health unit, see what they can do for us, that'll be ample.
Okay. So how be the Council of Township of Perth East received the correspondence from Marina Schmidt dated April 21st, 2021 regarding freshwater protection, responsible management of disposal for information, and that we send a letter to the health unit asking them to respond. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder. You want to move that, Daryl? Okay, and the seconder? Hugh? Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, the third item of business is from Mr. Clark, Municipal Affairs and Housing, about the Municipal Code of Conduct. They're having a consultation on this on the 8th of June. So just so you know, I did already register to go to this. I don't know if you have any comments or questions that you want me to bring forward. You can let me know, Andrew.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that I'm not sure if it's in their jurisdiction, Ministry of Affairs and Housing, but apply the same level of code of conduct to district school boards as well as municipal code of conduct.
Okay, so do you want to send me, Andrew, your concerns in an email, please? Okay, anyone else? Jerry?
I was gonna make myself available, Mayor, I guess, but if you're registered to go, then that's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for offering, Jerry. Hugh?
No, I was just going to say that if up until that day, if we have any questions, can we send them in to you? If that's all right.
Yes, yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep, that would be great. So if you have ideas, please get them to me and I will convey them that day. Okay, so we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the correspondence from Steve Clark, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, dated April 27, 2021, regarding Municipal Code of Conduct for Council members consultation on June 8, 2021 for information, and that Mayor Rhonda Agates will attend. Okay, moved by Andrew, second by Jerry. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the fourth piece of correspondence we have is from Len Hewitt on the G2G trail. What would you like to do with this correspondence? Daryl?
Well, they're not telling us too much there, are they? They're just giving us a nice overview from what I see, right?
Yeah, they're giving us an overview of what they have done and what's going on around Milverton.
Yeah, it's nice. We receive for information or what?
We can do that, yes. There's no other action.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, you want to move that? Okay, do we have a seconder? Amanda? So a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the correspondence from Len Hewitt on behalf of G2G Godrich to Guelph Rail Trail Board of Directors dated April 26, 2021 regarding G2G's plans for lane crossing east of Milverton for information. Moved by oh, sorry. Wes, do you want to comment? Nope. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, Daryl moved it and Amanda seconded. All in favor? Carried. Okay. So now we're down to council and committee reports. We did have a mayor's log, didn't we? I think we did. Yep. Oh, there we do. Any questions on where I've been and what I did for the month of April? Nope. Okay. How about council reports? Do we have any council reports? Jerry?
Just a quick verbal in the library. I don't see Ally on tonight. We obviously moving forward with our org review. The board's in support of that. So that's moving forward with the help of staff. So looking forward to that. And that's all I have from the library. Oh, actually, sorry, one more thing. We are actually meeting next Monday. I noticed the agenda planner had May the 11th, but we moved that to the 10th, the Monday, because of our special council meeting on the 11th. So next board meeting's on May 10th.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Anyone else have a report? Nope. So a motion to accept the mayor's meeting log and Jerry's verbal report. Moved by Amanda, second by Andrew. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we do have two bylaws to read a first, second, and third and final time. The one being bylaw 25, 2021, authorize the signing of the agreement with North Perth for the locate services, and the other bylaw to provide for the abandonment of a portion of the Stewart Municipal Drain in Mornington Ward. So a mover and a seconder for those bylaws. I don't know, it's getting harder to get you to put your hands up. Moved by Jerry, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we do not have a need for a closed session. Do we have any notice of motions? Any new business? Any announcements? So we do have one announcement tonight. We have a very special announcement. Tonight, we're here to honor one of our own. We want to offer congratulations to Teresa for achieving 20 years in the public service and municipal management. Teresa has worked, yes, 20 years in municipal the world. She began right here in Perth East. In July of 2000, she was a public work assistant and the fire department assistant. In June of 2005, she went to the regional municipality of Waterloo, where she was a council and committee specialist. In December 2007, she was a deputy clerk for the township of Minto. In September 2010, she was a municipal clerk for the township of Howick. And in January 2011, she liked us so much, she came back to Perth East as a municipal clerk. In February of 2019, she became the acting chief administrative officer, and she did the clerk's job as well. And then in September of 2019, she became the full-time chief administrative officer for Perth East. This is an outstanding achievement and an accomplishment both professionally and personally. We want to thank you, Teresa, for your dedication, your leadership, your friendship. You go above and beyond in everything that you do. You make Perth East a special and a great place to work and to be a part of. We know that you've worked hard for this accomplishment, and we truly appreciate your commitment. So on behalf of the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators, Perth East staff, and Perth East Council, we congratulate you on receiving a Long Service Recognition Award. And we'd also like to present you tonight with a certificate and a plant for all that you have done. So if you would take your headpiece off, unplug your microphone, please, stand up and turn around. Earl's going to make the presentation on our behalf.
Yeah.
Don't let Earl run away. I got one more job for him. I want him to give you a big hug because the rest of us can't, and we're all not there. So give Earl to give you a big hug on behalf of all of us. Great. So I also want to thank Earl for his participation in this, and I want to thank Ashley as well to make this all possible. So Teresa, I'm not sure, you look like you can hardly believe it.
You got that right. Anyway, this was total surprise. Thank you very much for the kind words and scheming obviously with my husband. So thank you very much, like I say, for the kind words. But I also need to extend extreme thanks to those people that I work with, because they are the reason that I do what I do. So anyway, they're the people around me are a great team. So thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Teresa, and congratulations. Okay, now we have a couple more things here. We have a bylaw number 26-21, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of Council of the Township of Perth East at its regular meeting held May 4, 2021, be read a first, second, and third time. Do we have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Amanda. Second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. And we have a motion that the meeting adjourn at 7:56. Moved by Andrew. Second by Jerry. All in favor? Carried. Great. Thanks, everyone. Great night. Great surprise. And